Hey, it's Margie Ducky Jacobs, and I am here on This Is Someone to Know. This is someone to know, Ulrike Selleck, and she is a friend of mine. And I met her through a group of people who were all looking to up-level their lives by helping other people. Ulrike is an expert on the transformative power of the human voice for our own well-being. Having been shut up as a teen, which I would love to learn more about, she experienced a major health crisis at 32. Deepak Chopra told her, if you want to heal, you have to free your voice and sing. So Ulrike became an opera singer in midlife. She has a BA in psychology, art, and music, and 45 years of experience in meditation. Ulrike created the powerful 7-second reset in her 2016 book, Sing Yourself Well in 7 Seconds, to enhance joy, freedom, and energy in seconds. Jack Canfield said, "This is a skill everybody should have, just like brushing your teeth." Ulrike lives in the Iowa countryside with canvas, paints, and 9, count them, 9 cats. Welcome, Ulrike. It is so nice to have you. Am I saying your name properly?
Yes, Ulrike. Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Where were you born?
In Germany,
In
in Bavaria.
Germany.
Yeah.
Do you know what your name means?
Yeah, it means rich in inheritance. And I
Oh,
always thought it must mean enlightenment or something grand, you know. So I'm settling for that. That'll be just fine with me.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love your background. It always, it's so bright
Thank you.
and
All
fun,
my painting.
cheery.
Yeah.
And so I really just I have a few questions for you, but I really want you to tell people like what you offer the world, what you feel at this point in your journey, what you're offering the world, and what you want them to know about you.
Yeah. We have been lied to most of our life in terms of what our voice is for. We were told that it's for talking with other people, communicating, or pleasing other people, performing for them, or being criticized like, oh, you're no good and your voice is terrible. You sing off key, or shut up, be quiet, not so loud. Our voice is actually a healing instrument for ourselves. Because why? Where is it? Where is it located? It's located in our own body. Nobody teaches us that this instrument we already have in our body, if we use it the right way, the way it's intended, the way babies use it, that it's actually a healing instrument for ourselves to make ourselves feel better, stronger, more confident, healthier, and all those good things. Can you tell I'm passionate?
Yes, and I
Nah.
love it. And it's true when you're a child, especially in how I grew up, we were to be seen and not
Yeah.
heard, right? Not so much my parents, I had great parents, but I just a lot of times when kids would come into a room, parents would say, so I
Yeah.
understand. I would love to ask you a few questions that I've set aside here for you, but
Yeah.
what sets your self-healing system apart from anybody else?
It's practical. It's something anybody can do, and they can do it with their own body. They don't need to use their mind a lot. It's not some mental thing. You don't need to say a lot of affirmations. You don't need to meditate for a few hours. I do all those things. It's good. They're all good. Meditation is great. Yoga is great. Mindfulness is great. The one thing, the final frontier that was missing from this equation, from this plethora of healing instruments that we've been given in this life, in this generation, is the human voice. It's been used primarily for other people, as I said, and to use it for ourselves. It's the last frontier. It's not talked about. It is talked about in terms of the vagus nerve, if you know. Vagus nerve is that nerve that runs through our body. That's the feel-good nerve. So sometimes people will say, oh, take 4 deep breaths in and then out 8 breaths. Well, what do we do with the voice when we sing? We breathe in fairly quickly and then we go, we use the voice to enliven the frequencies in our own body to heal ourselves. And it's the same count. Quick in, and then long out. So rather than just using the breath in a suspension kind of a way, we suspend the breath, but we add the added benefits of our own voice. And each person has their own voice already. That's perfect for them. Never mind all the hertz that everybody is supposed to listen to. You know, there are great YouTube channels where we listen to a certain frequency for healing. But for maintenance, for creating flow in the body, we each have the perfect healing instrument already now. All we need to learn is how to build it. And that is what my programs and my book do.
I love that. You know, a lot of times we become something because of our childhood. Would you just give us a little bit about what your upbringing was like, what your childhood was like?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I grew up in a musical family. We were all musicians. My father was a scientist, so he broke the mold. But my mother was a pianist. My grandfather was a pianist. My mother was an opera singer, classical singer, voice teacher, choir conductor, orchestra conductor. So I grew up with that in my womb, basically, in her womb, in my childhood. And then I had some experiences that broke that a little bit. I had some experience where I drowned. I don't know if you want to hear that or if you want to cut that out. I
You
drowned as a 5-year-old.
listen,
And
this is about you. You say what
okay,
you're comfortable with and
that was my childhood. My childhood was full of music, and then when I was 5 years old, I drowned. I fell into a pool, and I didn't know how to swim back up. So I swam down, and I ran out of air. So I started to breathe water. I was a little bit panicked, but it didn't take long. And rather than freaking out or dying, I fell awake. I completely went awake. I transitioned into the state where I was one with God, completely at home, cozy, full of joy. And the movie was playing of all my little life that I had led, all the little emotionally challenging situations would play off, and I would react to them in that beautiful state. And then I noticed towards the end of that reel, as if that there was something pulling me out of it. I'm going, oh no, I'm going back. Because at that point, my girlfriend who was in the garden with me, who had seen this, had run into the house, which was quite a ways away, into the kitchen, found her mom. Mom came back and the mom pulled me out. So I woke up all swaddled in a wool blanket, and they were pumping my lungs, and I came back into the body because apparently I wasn't done. Um, but that, Margie, that set the tone for me for the rest of my life. That yearning to be back home, back with God, cozy, without any fears, without any worries, without anything strange or foreign, that set the tone. And then when I was 20 years old, finally, after I made it through the horrendously uncomfortable teenage years because I was such an introvert and everybody wanted to go parties, and I was just not. I was sitting at home reading books, petting my little turtle. I was just not, no. But when I was 20, I learned to meditate, transcendental meditation. And in that first meditation, I had the same experience of being back home, of tears were streaming down my cheeks because I was so relieved that finally I had found it after all the struggle of those youth years that usually people enjoy, which I didn't. I was finally home again. So that set the tone for me. And what happened then is I went completely more inward. The introvert that I was already, that was so quiet, I went more inward. I meditated more. I went on retreats. I became a meditation teacher. I spent 2.5 years with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. I cooked Ayurvedic food for the ladies who traveled with him. So I traveled with them around Europe and then in Canada and America. And so all this inward stroke, there was one thing that was missing, and that was the balance between the inner and the outer. So when I was 32, I found myself standing in Deepak Chopra's office, and he said, "You have thyroid cancer. Ulrike, I've known you for years and you never speak up. If you want to heal, you have to free your voice and learn to sing. Your throat is all blocked. You need to free it up and learn to sing." So I did, and I became an opera singer, like you said, in midlife. For the first time, I stood on the stage with an orchestra, singing arias with orchestra at 48, really late. And so ever since then, people kept coming to me saying, "What did you do? You seem different. You're freer." And they brought me their children, their moms, their relatives, people they cared about, to see what it was I had learned so I could teach them. And so thousands of people later, I had found out this method that every single person needed in order to free themselves. Now, Margie, it wasn't just people who wanted to sing. It wasn't on that level. It was people who were stuck somehow in their life, that were at a crossroads, women at a crossroads, mostly women, some guys, men, young, old, it didn't matter. Women who have felt something is changing in their life, not necessarily bad, but kids out of the house, career change, death of loved ones, illness, just some change, and they didn't know what to do. They had to literally sit and establish, or stand and establish, flowing in their body, so all the different parts in our body could communicate with each other, rather than the head thinking, I should probably do that, and the heart going, I want to do that. And where the block was, just like with me, was in the throat. The throat had closed down because what I teach is the throat closes when the power chakra is not active. When this part here, when the power chakra is asleep, or it got traumatized, or it got punched, with guys usually physically, with women oftentimes emotionally, it just got punched to the point where it's not working, it's not functioning. What happens is it's not supporting this opening. If your listeners wanted to do this right now, do this with me. When you pulsate from your power chakra, the throat automatically opens. It just opens. There's nothing you need to manipulate or push the voice out, or do this vocal fry or anything. You just have an open throat because you are in your power. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I teach people. And that is so important for women, for us to come into our own power, to claim it, not just intellectually and with muscle, but with allowing the flow that is naturally there to finally come into our body and power our voice and power our whole being. It will change our life when we allow that. That was a little longer than I thought.
That is okay. It's so fascinating. I know you have like a 7-second
Yeah.
reset.
Yeah.
Is that something that you could teach us now, or is that something?
It takes a couple hours to learn. Thank you.
Okay.
That is exactly what I came up with after I learned for 8 years how to undo all the blocks in my own voice. And after teaching hundreds of people, at the time it was hundreds of people, and they all needed a certain sequence in order to establish flow, to build their instrument the way it's supposed to be. And that is something that I can teach in about 2 hours. And then once you know it, it takes literally 7 seconds. It has saved lives, my own and other people's. Yeah, thank you. That's the
Wow.
one that Jack Canfield tried. He read my book and he tried this, and he said it's made such a difference in his life. And it's something everybody should know, because it's just like brushing your teeth.
That's a very powerful endorsement. So,
Yeah.
do you teach these workshops on how to do this? Like, do you have a 2-hour workshop right now that I could sign up for?
I am in the process of creating a new one. I have an old one, but
Okay.
my consciousness has risen since then, if there's
Yes.
such a word. I've expanded my container of knowledge and of experience, and I want to give more. So what I have now is the bare minimum, and it's all right, but it's not as good as what I'm building now. It's much more complete now. So
Well, I'm
I'm
excited.
teaching in person here, but then online will be ready probably in a couple months.
Okay. Well, when it's ready, your audience is ready. Your audience is waiting, because who here wants to learn how to have a 7-second reset with
Yeah.
your voice, using your voice, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
something parents can teach kids. They're so overwhelmed in school with social media, with bullying, with drugs, with all these temptations, outward, outward, outward. My thing is an inward thing, and it's not a quiet, subtle thing. It's okay, you, yourself, your body, you have the power already. And so for parents, it's great because they can heal their own trauma with that, create flow, and so they don't pass it on. And it's great for the kids to always have a reference point. Oh,
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see you taking this into the schools.
Yeah,
I'll tell
I
you,
have, I have taught in schools, homeschool,
yes,
private school, public school. Yeah,
that's great. I've recently been going into the high schools to teach, and young people are just so hungry for something that's meaningful.
yeah,
Like, they're not engaged in what they're learning. They're bored. Like,
yeah,
even being introduced, their arms are crossed. They don't care
yeah,
until we start talking to them about something that they care about, which this is bullying's a big thing. So any part that you can play in helping alleviate that for young
Yeah. So
wow.
important. I have a free kids ebook on my website that is geared towards children being read by parents. It has illustrations that are child appropriate. I explain the whole 7-second reset for children so the parents can teach the children through that book. Ideally, of course, the parents should already know it so they're very familiar with it. Um, and then the other category I really feel passionate about is mompreneurs. As speakers, as sharers of our life's experience, we need to have flow in our own life. Otherwise, we're going to compromise what we're teaching.
I
And then,
agree.
speakers in general, performers, there's so many different categories that this applies to, just like meditation. Meditation is for everybody who is ready, not just for one or two niches. So I've had a hell of a time figure out a niche because like whoever is conscious enough to want to heal on that level and to want to feel free and confident, it's for those people.
Yes, and I don't know about you, meditation took me a while to really learn. At first, I felt like I was faking it, like,
Ah.
okay, I'm not really, my mind's not really, but now I really can completely surrender into it, and it is a beautiful practice
Yes.
that I hope that you'll incorporate. Like, I could see where you could do a workshop, with parents and kids together, and I could see you doing workshops for the moms, for the dads, like, there's so much. So
Yeah.
so what's next? What's next for you? What are you working on? What are you gonna bring to us? What are you gonna share with the world?
Well, thank you, Margie. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's just a
Oh,
joy.
yeah, of course, my
You're
pleasure.
such a lively being, and I just feel like I could talk forever, but of course you don't want that, so I'll shut up. Um,
Don't
um,
shut up. Don't shut up.
I
That's the
know,
whole thing.
right? That's the
Oh
whole
my
thing.
gosh,
Oh
see what you
my God.
just said? It's just so ingrained.
It's
But you're
so,
not going to shut up, but you are going to share in a brief
yes, yes,
period of time
exactly. Thank you,
what
darling.
you have going.
So I just finished co-authoring a book that became #1 bestseller in 3 categories. I'm officially #1 best-selling author, which is wonderful.
Hey.
I did write my book. I'm a published author of my book, Sing Yourself Well in 7 Seconds, and I'm
Nice.
rewriting that right now to make it more comprehensive. And then I'm also preparing for my TEDx talk. My first TEDx talk is in September, Wilson Park, Alabama. And I'm
Oh,
excited for that. I'm already working on the speech, on the talk, and make
yeah.
it as lively as possible with audience engagement. And so I'm very excited about that because that gets it out to millions of people, which is what I want. It's not me ego wanting, but okay, divine, you want me to do this? I would rather stay home with my cats and paint, but okay. And it's a joy to share because I see the transformation in people. It's real, it's physical, it's like, wow, I didn't know I had this voice. People come to me that have 5 notes, hiding behind a guitar, singing, oh, a little country song, which is all right. And then I say, okay, put the guitar to the side, let's do this. And I teach them. And after an hour and a half, she sings the habanera. She sings an aria, walking around, tall, wide, free. It's just a joy when you see the transformation over and over and over, the difference it makes in people's lives. So I'm
Wow.
excited for that.
Congratulations. That's very exciting. And, step back for a moment. An introvert having a TED Talk.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
But still, yeah.
just think about second grade where you were and where you are. And that's just remarkable. And I'm so excited to know you
Thank
sharing
you.
what you're doing with the world. This is,
And it took all the hardship, it took all the many incredible bumps in the road that I experienced.
yeah,
So you heard one, but like, believe me, there are more and we don't have time. But yes, exactly. We just don't know what we're in for. And then suddenly God sort of nudges us. You'll see, just keep going, just keep going. And suddenly here we are. And finally, it's at that point where it can go out into the world. It's like a funnel. It's like literally like a funnel, and now it can spread. Yeah, just
yeah.
like you, we're all at that point.
Well, once it becomes a TED Talk, just so many people are going to see it. So
Mm.
I'm excited for you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your taking your time and telling us more about who you are and what you're offering the world. Congratulations on your
Thank
book,
you, Margie.
your best-selling book. And I'm gonna put this up on my Facebook and share it on my social media as well as other groups that I'm in. So
Mhm.
I hope that you'll share links when I do that to have
Yeah.
people reach out to you. But if somebody just like wants to reach out to you right now, what would they do?
My website, singyourselfwell.com. Yeah, just go to the
Nice.
website and you can get the free ebook, Seven Keys to Wellness, which is an amazing read, if I may say so myself, because it primes you. It makes it so um, visual and so palpable why you need those 7 qualities and how quickly you can get those qualities enlivened in your body. It doesn't take a lot of affirmations. Reading the book, learning the 7-second reset, and you have it for the rest of your life to always get back into your center quickly. And for speakers, for us performers or presenters, to just do that before we go on stage or before we have a client, it's just so powerful. So,
Wow.
yes.
You have a remarkable story. You're a beautiful person. You have vibrant energy that it just fills me up and it's going to fill everybody up who's watching. So,
Oh,
congratulations
thank you
on
so
your
much.
success.
No, thank you,
And
darling. I love you. Thank
Staying,
you,
I
Margie.
love you too. And you just stay so genuine through it all. And you're right, there's no ego there. There's simply giving and a real warm heart. So,
Yeah, thank you, darling. Thank
thank
you so much. Thank
thanks
you
for
for having
showing
me,
up.
Margie. It was a joy.
My pleasure. And we'll talk to you next time on This Is Someone to Know. Thank you, Ulrike Selleck.